From Simon & Schuster Audio, Ernest Hemingway, The Short Stories, Volume 2. Read by Stacy Keach.
My Old Man. I guess, looking at it now, my old man was cut out for a fat guy. One of those regular little roly fat guys you see around. But he sure never got that way, except a little toward the last. And then it wasn't his fault. He was riding over the jumps only, and he could afford to carry plenty of weight then. I remember the way he'd pull on a rubber shirt over a couple of jerseys and a big sweatshirt over that, and get me to run with him in the forenoon in the hot sun. He'd have maybe taken a trial trip with one of Ratzo's skins early in the morning after just getting in from Torino at 4 o'clock in the morning, and beating it out to the stables in a cab, and then, with the dew all over everything and the sun just starting to get going, I'd help him pull off his boots, and he'd get into a pair of sneakers and all those sweaters, and we'd start out. "Come on, kid," he'd say, stepping up and down on his toes in front of the jock's dressing room. "Let's get moving." Then we'd start off jogging around the infield once, maybe, with him ahead, running nice, and then turn out the gate and along one of those roads with all the trees along both sides of them that run out from San Siro. I'd go ahead of him when we hit the road, and I could run pretty good, and I'd look around, and he'd be jogging easy just behind me, and after a little while I'd look around again, and he'd begun to sweating heavy, and he'd just be dogging it along with his eyes on my back. But when he'd catch me looking at him, he'd grin and say, "Sweating plenty?" When my old man grinned, nobody could help but grin too. We'd keep right on running out toward the mountains, and then my old man would yell, "Hey, Joe!" And I'd look back, and he'd be sitting under a tree with a towel he'd had around his waist, wrapped around his neck. I'd come back and sit down beside him, and he'd pull a rope out of his pocket and start skipping rope out in the sun with the sweat pouring off his face, and him skipping rope out in the white dust with the rope going cloppity, cloppity, clop, 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 and the sun hotter, and him working harder up and down a patch of the road. Say, it was a treat to see my old man skip rope, too. He would whir it fast or...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?